With House of the Dragon returning with Season 3 after 2 years and it launching off in real style with the Battle of the Gullet, a dramatic death and the responsibility of it being held in the hands of somebody Rhaenyra was supposed to trust, the trailer for the next episode basically showed us that the death of her son will change her for the better or for the worse, depending which side you're on. With more deaths being teased, betrayals being shown, epic battles being in every other shot, and dragon riding dominating it, this season truly looks like it's going to be so much better than anything that we got in Season 2. So with that, I wanted to break down the trailer and also give my theories and predictions on what I think will happen. Here is House of the Dragon Season 3 Episode 2 Trailer Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. So the trailer for the next episode opened up with the aftermath of the Battle of the Gullet, and with Baelor riding off, we could instantly see that she was deeply upset by what happened to Jace. She's gonna be devastated because she watched the person that she loved slowly die as his dragon was buried beneath the water and he was struck with several arrows as others cheered on. She may also blame her sister for entering the battle with an untrained dragon and causing Jace to become distracted, which ultimately led to his death. As the music in the background of the trailer increased towards the climax and as the burning of the dragon breath was taking over of what remained, Rhaenyra's voice interrupted and the trailer fell silent as she said, "Jace, what have you done?" This was then accompanied with a shot of Jace's body being carried through and Baelor carrying that upset look on her face still. I do wonder if Rhaenyra saying, "What have you done?" is going to be her speaking with Rhaena, as she could have a guilty look on her face, or she could be speaking with the body of her son. We know that Jace's death hits Rhaenyra in a completely different way to how when Lucerys died. The loss of Lucerys almost plunged her into a deep period of depression. However, what Jace's death is going to do is cause her to be filled more with anger and rage and the desire to get revenge in the bloodiest way possible. With a shot of some of the bodies from the conclusion of the Battle of the Gullet still being in the sea, we saw Lord Corlys Velaryon washing up onto shore, showing that the sea snake lives and he survived his battle with Lohar. Playing over the top of this was the audio of a distraught Rhaenyra, as she said, "How could you?" Again, I imagine this will be her speaking to Jace's body, or it could be Rhaena, or even the Queensguard, because he listened to Jace's commands and locked her away, so she was helpless. There was also a shot of Rhaena after her and Sheepstealer had landed, and I think in this instance she's going to be speaking with Baelor. She looked upset and like she knew the responsibility of Jace's death was going to be sitting with her. When it comes to what her fate will be, I think we'll see Rhaenyra wanting her to be punished by death, but I think Daemon might intervene and stop that and make her channel her anger towards the actual enemy. After this, we then had Daemon comforting Rhaenyra, and he said, "Will you let him die in vain?" as she was crying into the bed. Daemon loves a battle, loves a fight, and he wants Rhaenyra to sit on the throne that she deserves to be on, so he's using this as a tactic to get her back into the fight and to take what's rightfully hers, rather than plunge into that depression like she did before when Lucerys was killed. As well as this, I think he could be a large reason as to why she ends up changing her mental state and her approach to a more revenge-fueled, anger-led one. The next part of the trailer then had Aemond Hightower, Alicent's cousin, appearing, and he said, "Rhaenyra is weak and unsuited to rule." I imagine in this instance he's going to be speaking with either his cousin Alicent or her son Aemond. This was met with his opposition on the battlefield, which looks like it's going to be Daemon Targaryen as the two sides stood against each other. However, the two never actually met on the battlefield in the book, as they were on different battlefronts, so this could be some trickery. Or you never know, it could be an alteration from the book. I think it's most likely going to be the Battle of Tumbleton, especially seeing as though Roddy the Ruined was seen later on in the trailer, so Daemon won't be against him. Daemon then went on to say, "You will have justice," which shows that Daemon isn't going to stop until Rhaenyra sat on the Iron Throne, and Rhaenyra said, "I will never have justice, but what crumbs of it I snatch, I will devour." This highlights how the Iron Throne matters deeply to Rhaenyra, but if she does eventually sit on it, and sit on it whilst her enemies have perished, justice wouldn't have been served because she'd rather have her children alongside her, and two of them have been large prices that she's had to pay for it. After this, we then had Aemond saying, "We'll fight on our own terms. My purpose is to restore the rightful line to the Iron Throne." Aemond basically wants to cement the Hightower bloodline on the Iron Throne and ensure that it controls it. At this point in time, Aemond controls the largest remaining standing army on the continent, and that's why we saw several shots of him throughout the trailer marching towards King's Landing and ensuring everybody in his pathway is loyal to King Aemond and not Rhaenyra. And if they're on the side of Rhaenyra, then they'll be met with steel. The next part of the trailer then had Aemond saying, "Rhaenyra is no queen, a new dawn is coming and she'll certainly fail." This was accompanied by Alicent looking over the dragon pit in King's Landing and her being frightened at what was on the horizon. She originally wanted to broker peace because of all of the suffering that she's seen, but I fear she knows that many more lives are going to be lost before any kind of peace is made. After this, we saw Aegon and Larys escaping their captors after Larys smartly found a way for them to stay alive and to not be killed on the spot. They killed their captors, and even though it seems like Aegon might be wounded, I don't think he'll die. Aegon then said to Larys, "Every one of my miseries is of his making, and I swear I'm going to find him and effing kill him." With this speech being accompanied by Aemond wielding his weapon and training, it's most definitely going to be about his brother. Aegon and his brother have never truly gotten along because Aemond felt he'd be a better ruler, and with Aemond now ascending the Iron Throne, that's going to be the fuel to push Aegon forward to want to get that revenge even more. Following this, we then had what looked like Rhaenyra, Daemon, and others flying into King's Landing with the hopes of taking it. She did originally say that she'd be heading towards there in 2 days' time, and with the fueled revenge for Jace, that's something that I think we'll see her looking to do even more. Daemon was seen to be killing a Green as they entered the Red Keep too. Rhaenyra said before she flew there, "I am my father's heir," and the next piece of dialogue said, "This is the moment you become queen." And along with this, we saw her looking at the Iron Throne that looks like it's going to be heavily guarded by the Greens because of the green cloak and the golden dragon instead of red, so I imagine we'll see a fight taking place inside of the throne room as Rhaenyra looks to take it. After this, we then saw Aemond speaking again, as he said, "The patient hunter gets the kill," showing that he's a tactician for certain, and on the battlefield, those tactics will be adopted. He fights in 2 major battles in House of the Dragon, and I imagine we'll see them both being depicted on screen. There's the Battle of Honeywine and the Battle of Tumbleton. We then had a shot of Sir Criston Cole deep in battle, and it makes me wonder if this is the Butcher's Ball, a battle which will see the Blacks take some kind of victory. We then started to build towards the climax of the trailer with a quick succession of shots. Alicent said, "The crown is a weight that crushes," and as this was said, we saw Adam of Hull, Hugh Hammer and Ulf the White all on their knees in front of Rhaenyra and Daemon. Whilst we know that Ulf and Hugh end up betraying Rhaenyra, I don't think this is them being caught and punished for a betrayal. I do actually wonder if this is them getting caught though, if it's only going to be Hugh that ends up doing the betraying, because both Adam and Ulf turned directly to him as Daemon got out his sword. There were seeds planted in the previous episode of Hugh being ungrateful and wanting to walk away, so it might change from the book slightly. Alicent then proceeded to say, "Rhaenyra will do what she has to do, and what she has to do will be dire." This was as Alicent appeared to be sneaking out during the dead of night again, showing that she's wavering from her own side. Rhaenyra also said in an extremely emotional way, "Have you not betrayed your queen?" as scenes of sheer devastation were sporadically cut between. This symbolized the innocent lives that are being cost in the process for the claiming of the throne and crown. That's why I think there was also that slow motion shot of the young boy too, to show the damage that a family rivalry is causing and just how widespread it's reaching. Following this, we then got arguably one of the most powerful lines in the trailer. What was said was, "You can burn us, you can kill us, but you will never make us embrace her." Accompanied with this piece of dialogue was Starks falling, battles such as Tumbleton, Butcher's Ball, and Daemon, Criston and Aemond showing the authority that they held in battle. We also had a shot of Rhaenyra which could be connected to one of two things. It could be connected to us seeing Dreamfire and the beauty in that, or it could be the moment before she ends things for herself. Following Blood and Cheese in Season 2, Rhaenyra never truly recovers from it, and the weight of everything that's unfolding begins to get too much. So I believe this could be in the build-up to her ending things. It's a beautiful shot and one that would support such a powerful and emotional moment. The final line in the trailer was then spoken by Rhaenyra as we had her and Daemon having slain green soldiers directly in front of them. She said, "I wear my father's crown. My enemies will not deny me my rights." I think this shot is going to be taken as she's on the way to take the Iron Throne. The transformation in Rhaenyra in this trailer alone shows the direction of the season, and it brings to light how the death of Jaehaerys is actually going to be the very thing that causes her to act completely differently, and with more of an aggressive iron fist. This season genuinely looks miles better than what we had in the previous season. There's tons of battles, there's actual consequence, plot development, and the world feeling large and expansive. With A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms being a success earlier on in the year, it feels like House of the Dragon could follow suit in the same way. Let's hope anyway. So, there you have it, House of the Dragon Season 3 Episode 2 Trailer Explained.